Alright, so getting right into the news. First off, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. It's awesome to be able to have a discussion like this, and you know, to the people who retweet my stream notifications and everything on Twitter, that's really appreciated, because the more of you guys that are here, then the better this discussion can be. And you know, I can say that I definitely enjoy it. It seems like you guys enjoy it, so that's awesome. Thanks again. Awesome, Gray. Alright, yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you being here. Okay, so, oh, just a heads up for this one. I know that recently I've been putting my, my discussions on YouTube. The full discussion won't be on YouTube this time, because the Arcana stream, tomorrow, it's going to be happening in 12 hours. Within 12 hours, the Arcana stream will be done. So, the Arcana stream, part of this discussion, that's pointless, because whatever is said in that, you know what I mean? Like it's relevant now because it hasn't happened, but after it happens, there's no point to it, because whatever's been announced has already been announced. So that part won't be there. But the Arcana Heart discussion that we're about to have right now, that is going to be you know, put up there, most likely, unless there's something, unless like they literally reveal Arcana Heart characters tomorrow that you know, make this discussion irrelevant as well, then there's that. But most likely that won't happen, at least not tomorrow. So, but anyway, jumping right into it, for those who don't know, Arc System Works was showing off the current console build of BBTAG with the patch, at least whatever they had done to the patch thus far, at SakuraCon over the weekend. And of course it's not finished yet. You know, they still have a little bit, they still probably have some more to do, you know, most likely. And they did say, some people commented that there are some new interactions in the game, but none were recorded as far as I know. They did not want anyone to take any pictures or to record any part of the current build, okay? So there was someone anyway, despite being told not to take any pictures or whatever, there was someone who played the build and they took a picture of the icon shop where two of the major Arcana Heart characters were. Now, just so I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, if you go over here to the shop, in case you don't know, you have all your different things you can buy. If you go to the icon shop, if you go through here, you know, for a character standing art, all of these are playable characters in the game. Same thing for the cut-in, all of these are playable characters in the game. Same thing for this one as well, all playable characters. This right here, this is where the non-playable characters are. And not only are these characters not playable in this game, none of these characters are playable in their own respective games. None of them. Just so you guys know. Of course, not all of them come from games, but General Teddy, this is not Teddy. Without giving any spoilers, this is a completely different character than Teddy, you know, than the Teddy that's coming to this game. This is not Teddy, just so you know. And none of these other characters, you know, none of these other characters here are playable. You know, you can argue that Guy and Nago are part of Rachel's moveset, but they don't, you don't control them directly. They're just specific moves that are already part of her moveset, and that's how it was in the home game. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, these two are not playable either. Let me double check the comments here. Well, okay. Like I said, Combo. You know, yes, George, Nago, and Guy, they're in the game, but they're not, you don't control these characters. You don't directly control them. You know what I mean, dude. Anyway, at the bottom here, below where Chibi Blake and Chibi Yang are, this is where Saki and Weiss are in the build that was there at SakuraCon, okay? So, that implies that these characters, like the rest of these here, that implies that they're not going to be playable in this game as well. That's what that implies, and that's what a lot of people took that as. So, you know, the person who put this picture up, you know, they showed that, you know, they were not making it up. It is proof. If someone just said this, I'm sure that a lot of people would not believe what they were saying, but they had picture proof of it. It's kind of been floating around Twitter, so most likely, you know, you guys have seen it. And to be honest, it's kind of surprising. From what I've gathered, people have said that they're just as important as characters are, like Noelle and Jin, to BlazBlue, right? And also, from what I've gathered, Petra's the next character. Petra's the character that other players have been saying is most likely going to be coming then as the next Arcana Heart character. It makes sense. From what they've, you know, said, Petra is the protagonist of Arcana Heart 2. And weirdly enough, Weiss is the protagonist of Arcana Heart 3. And it seems really weird to rep Arcana Heart 3, you know, the latest version of the game, and not to have Weiss, you know, present. That seems kind of weird to me. But the thing is, they're clearly major characters, and I can say that I do understand how the Arcana Heart fans feel, because back when the game was announced, I thought the villains would be in the game, but here we are, still without any kind of villains. Arguably Hazuma, but you know what I mean. We don't have the main villains for any of these franchises in this game as of yet. Now, with the picture, with the art being there in this part of the icon shop, it does seem like it's gonna be like this is one of two cases. Yo, Binnaz, what's up, man? I'm just now getting into it. You haven't really missed anything, so you're good. Right, combo. That I was just. Trust me, dude. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that in just like 1 minute with you know, potential data mines and things like that. Trust me, dude. Okay, cool. Okay, so moving on. There's two main possibilities that came to mind regarding having those two characters in this part of the icon shop. One, since this is a temporary build of the game and they're not done with it, then that's just the spot that the devs just so happened to put there, or it was a mistake that they put them there. You know, it's just a mistake on the devs' part, right? Either that, or they could have intentionally put them there just to mess with people, because they did say, hey, don't take any pictures, don't have any recordings, and the people who went there, dude, there's recordings of the SakuraCon build up. There's recordings of that on YouTube, just so you guys know. It might be hidden, it might just be in the Discord, you know, like an unlisted link, but yeah, people went there, people recorded, people took pictures when they specifically said not to. So maybe they intentionally put that there just so when people go to take pictures, it's like, oh hey, look, this is what you get for snooping around the build. We're gonna make you guys worry about the roster, right? I'm thinking that, you know, that's definitely a possibility. But if either of those two situations are true, then that means that both Saki and Weiss are going to be coming in the future. Now, the second possibility is that, you know, if you guys, you know, have noticed, and this, I hope that this is not the case, because if this is the case, then I'm just gonna say, man, I don't know what to tell them. But ever since the game's been out, you know, fans in the West have been asking for villains, right? And, you know, you can say that Persona fans have been asking primarily for characters that are from the most recent version of the game, from Ultimax, right? But people have been asking for that because they want a complete investigation team, and we want, you know, Adachi, you know, and there's a couple of other fan favorites that are exclusive to Ultimax, you know? In case you guys don't know, for the fan polls relating to Persona 4 Arena, there was one that was last year, and in the top 5, you know, you have Adachi, Rise, Elizabeth, Teddy, and Junpei. So out of the top 5, 3 of those 5 characters are from Ultimax. And then with the more recent one, the top 5 are Adachi, Rise, Minazuki, Teddy, and Junpei. So in the more recent one, 4 of the top 5 are exclusively from Ultimax, the most recent version of the game. Now, I hope that it's nothing like this, but the thought occurred to me that maybe in Arc Sys Japan, you know, with people's requests, they could have misinterpreted it that Western, you know, fans in the West like newer characters and villains. But we like newer characters and villains over main characters. That's what I'm thinking, that, you know, if they misunderstood that message there, then that might be what they got in their heads. Hey, they like the newer characters. They do like villains. You know, they've been talking about villains. They want villains and they want new characters. That's what they want. They want the characters that are from the most recent version of the game. They don't care about the older characters that have been there since the beginning. It's all about the most recent ones. Okay, guys, let's get Arcana Heart 6 stars, you know, Love Max 6 stars or whatever, and we're gonna make sure that we give them a nice recent character. We're gonna give them Minori. We're gonna make sure that we give them villains. We're gonna give them, you know, Scarlet Crot, and you know, oh, we have Heart in there. We have the cover girl from Arcana Heart. We don't need Saki and Weiss. Nope, none of that. They've been there since the beginning. Those characters are old news. We don't need them. We have these 3 here, and you know what? I guess we'll put Petra in there. Let's just put Petra in there as well. You know, she's a little bit older, but she's not as old as those ones that were there from the very beginning. You know, I don't know. That's something that just kind of came to mind when I thought about it. Just because with ArcSys and their marketing, who knows what goes through their minds? I honestly, I've wondered that for a while now. Who makes these decisions? What goes through their minds? You know, it's just a thought. I do hope that that's not the case. I really do. Because if it is, they've completely misunderstood the whole purpose here. The thing is, you know, if Ragna wasn't in the game, in the base roster, right? If Ragna wasn't in the game, but Terumi made it, right? We got the villain, but Ragna wasn't there. Then who's Terumi supposed to stop on, you know? You know that in the base game, in the outros, if he's fighting Ragna, he stomps on Ragna in his outro. That's one of his outros. You know, and if Ragna's in the base game, what if Ragna was in the base game, but Jin wasn't in the base game, right? Then who's supposed to be his rival? You know, that's how a lot of us were thinking, but it was clear that back then, Arc wasn't thinking along the same lines. Let me go through the comments really quick here. Yes, Combo, they definitely need to have a villain pack. I definitely agree with that, dude. Okay, I have not, I don't even use Facebook, so I don't know what they are like on Facebook, but the person who runs Twitter, at least, I don't know, I'm neutral on the person who runs Twitter. I'm neutral. They post some stupid things sometimes, but then I wonder if they're told to do it, or what. If they are the ones to think of what to post, yeah, then no, I don't have a positive opinion of him either. Combo, I'm talking about Arc Japan, because think of it like this. Arc Japan isn't here in the US, obviously. They're in Japan. Arc US is here to listen to our feedback, right? What if... Think of it as kind of like, hey, we want to tell Arc Japan something. Okay, well then let's let the branch that's here know. We tell them something, and then they have to interpret the message, and then they have to relay that message to Arc Japan. What if that message somehow just got misinterpreted by them, right? I'm just saying, it's a possibility. I really hope that's not the case, but I'm just throwing it out there because it is a possibility. Now, I know that some people don't understand how big a difference the roster can make, but it can make a huge, massive difference. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but Maximilian, dude, he actually played BBTAG, you know, when it first came out. He played the beta, and he enjoyed it. He liked the game. His problem with the game was that he liked Gordeau because he had this Gambit, you know, this Gambit color, you know, a character from Marvel, and he couldn't find someone that he wanted to play with that character. He couldn't find that perfect partner for Gordeau. So he settled for Ruby, right? And ultimately, it's just that the roster didn't have characters that were to his liking the way that Gordeau was, right? You know, I'm assuming that maybe he just prefers a male character to play. I don't know. But it just wasn't to his liking, right? You know, had he kept playing, had the roster, you know, had someone that he could have partnered up with Gordo that he enjoyed playing, then a lot of more casuals would have, you know, been seeing him play over a longer period of time. You know, it would have just gotten the player base to be bigger, at least, you know, somewhat. You can't tell me that had he kept playing the game, that the game wouldn't have more exposure, and that it wouldn't have at least, you know, a somewhat, you know, slightly bigger player base than it does right now. That's how big of a difference it could have made. You know? Unfortunately, even now, it's pretty much this game's biggest problem is its roster. That's, you know, I would say so at this point. The other big problem with the game was Gordo being half of the meta. That was the other big problem. But as of the patch that's going to be coming out next month, that's been addressed. The Gordo meta is being addressed as of, you know, we knew what was happening with the patch, so that's been addressed. We don't have the thing that addresses it yet, but it is going to be addressed, right? So I really hope that they address, you know, the roster, not only with the current franchises of the game, but I hope that they address the Arcana Heart fans, you know, soon when it comes to the roster for that franchise, and that you guys do get Saki and Weiss, because I totally understand how you guys feel about the situation. Let me just go to the comments real quick, because I missed a couple of them. Combo, I feel the exact same way, man. It really did seem... I thought that they were up to date too, but if you think about it, Combo, when it came to the characters for the 4 base franchises, we literally held polls. We had lists. We had lists with names and pictures of the characters with their corresponding franchise. We literally gave them the guide to how to get our money. We literally gave that to them. It's right there. All they have to do is follow it. But I mean, it was that straightforward. You can't really say the same about Arcana Heart. We did not give them a list of characters that we would like to see from Arcana Heart. So, you know, just saying, dude. You know, we know how the DLC, the picks, how they were handled last year when they didn't have any input from fans. But what we're seeing this year from returning franchises, from returning characters, this is with our input being there, and with Arcana Heart, no one knowing that was going to be, well, no one knowing for sure that was going to be the 5th fate. No one's given them like a list of Arcana Heart characters that they've expected. You know, just saying. You know, I really hope that I'm wrong there, and that they do understand exactly what it is that the US player base wants, but I just feel like in the case of the other 4 franchises, we spelled it out for them clear as day, where a 2-year-old could understand what we're saying, and that's not the same for Arcana Heart. You know, I really hope that we do get Saki and Weiss, because I know that you guys, you know, want those characters, but we have to wait and see, man. You know, hopefully we do, though. Midnaz, I'm going to be talking about the Arcnama stream, or giving like a slight update on it after the Arcana Heart discussion, but yes, the Arcnama stream is tomorrow. Whether or not there's going to be some big news or not, that's uncertain, but I will be talking about that in just a little bit. But, yeah, I just really hope they get the roster right. So, like I said, if for some reason they misinterpreted what we said here in the US, I could see, you know, the 4 characters. If we only get 4 characters, by the way, I don't think we're going to just get 4, but if we only did get 4, I could definitely see the picks being Heart, Petra, Scarlet, and Minori. You know, that would be my guess, personally. I don't think that they would pay for the rights to the most recent version of the game and not include a rep from it, and Minori is the only rep from Arcana Heart 3. Love Max, 6 stars, that is currently in the game. The other ones have not yet been released for the game. Combo, honestly, it would have been smart. Had Arcana, I'm sorry, wow, I'm thinking of that. Had Arc System Works literally just put out a poll for every potential franchise that they could be adding for the game, if they just put out a poll for, hey, which characters from these franchises would you like to see in a fighting game, and they let you do like a top 5 for all the potential, you know, fighting game, for all the different, you know, ones that they might potentially add to BBTAG, that would have been really smart, because then they'll have all the data that they need, depending on what franchise they add, right? That would have been smart. But nope. Nope. That's not what they did. They did, there was a survey. When was it? It was, I want to say it was like, there was a survey. I forgot when. I want to say it was last year, but I'm not 100% sure. But there was a survey where they asked, what characters from any franchise would you like to see in the game? I remember that survey. I remember that survey because I took it. It was a Japanese survey, but obviously Google Translate, you know, or if you have Chrome, it translates it for you. You know, and I made sure for myself, dude, I listed every character I could think of that would be hyped for this game. But, of course, I didn't know about a lot of these franchises that people were talking about now. When I listed my characters, I was talking about characters like Asura from Asura's Wrath, Nero from Devil May Cry, Cat from Gravity Rush, Genos from One Punch Man, you know, characters that would be pretty expensive for them to get in the game. I think I might have mentioned a couple of Disgaea characters, maybe. If I did. I think I did, yeah. Laharl, and then, like, I think a couple of the other Disgaea protagonists. And then also Lightning and Noctis from Final Fantasy. Like, I think that was all the characters that I asked for. That was it. That was, like, that was it. I didn't even know what the heck, Under Night and Birth. I didn't know anything about Under Night. I didn't know anything about Arcana Heart. I didn't know anything about Dengeki Bunko. I didn't know anything about Senran Kagura. I still only know like so much about these different franchises, but I'm just saying, back then I had no idea what they were in the first place. But yeah, let me see here. Well, yeah, Minnaz. There was the poll. Well, there was that poll, and then there was the poll they did about Ruby. They did a poll on what Ruby characters people wanted to see. Now, this was the October before the game even came out, right? This was not that long after announcement. This was October of 2017 they did this. There was a poll of what Ruby characters you wanted to see in the game. But that's the only franchise that the American branch themselves directly polled people about. And also, that's another reason too. That poll is another big reason of why I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get more Ruby characters. That poll was pointless if they were only doing Team Ruby. Because Team Ruby is like, that's the start. You're not gonna have, oh guys, Ruby's in the game without Team Ruby. That's just the start. That's why myself and a lot of other Ruby fans, you know, we're kind of feeling a little bit jaded here with this whole situation, because things have been pretty misleading when it comes to the Ruby side of the roster. Had they said that the game is just guest starring Team Ruby, completely different situation. But to have Ruby Rose in the first trailer, to have her own color, where she's taking up a fourth of the character art, because there was the protagonist for each of the different franchises, and to have her equally there like the rest of them, that's where the, you know, like it's misleading. That's where it's misleading. But anyway, that's a completely different point. But yeah, Combo, that's a good idea. If they had surveys every few months or so about what characters the fanbase currently wants, that would be really smart of them to do. Game King. I mean, okay, I see your point. I definitely see your point, dude. I would say, okay, Game King, if they had just thrown the question out there, and they didn't give it in relationship to BBTAG. Like, of course, now that BBTAG is out, if they did that now, yes, we would all know it's for BBTAG. But had they done it, like, before BBTAG was out? Because no one knew that this game would be getting new franchises until EVO. EVO was when we knew that we were getting new franchises. Had they done that questionnaire before the game even came out, I think that would have, like, no one would have known what it was for, and that would have given them some really good answers. But at the same time, I feel like now that we know what the game exactly is, I feel like now we could give better answers. But it's like there's two sides of the coin. They could have done it and then we would know, but if they do it now, it'll be something that overall would be better for the game if it was done now, in my opinion anyway. Alright, yeah, a lot of people want Crow. Yeah, like, I mean, literally that was me. Day one of this game, I'm playing Ruby Gordeau because Crow isn't in the game. And I'm like, oh, well, they're dynamic. Ruby Gordeau's dynamic. Yeah, that's good enough. I'll just play this team until Crow comes out. They even talk about Crow in the outro. Of course he's gonna be getting in. Oh, goodness. And then, here we are now. But yeah, Crow would have been a really great pick, but I don't know. Like, at this point, I don't even know if... Honestly, Combo, the reason I doubt that he would be coming to BBTAG, if he comes, I don't think he's going to be joining anytime soon. Just because of the current situation of things regarding Vic Mignogna. And, I don't know how the rest of the Ruby fans feel about him. From what I heard, they're divided. So adding this character, please, like, no, like, trust me, you don't know how much I would love to see Crow in the game. Ruby Crow is one of my dream teams. I really thought I was going to be playing in the game when they announced this game. I actually don't have any of my dream teams yet in the game. None of the teams I plan on playing in the game when they announce it, I don't have any of them yet. But I would much rather that Crow not even come to the game anytime soon, and that we get another character like Pyrrha, Roman, Neo, Cinder, Adam, Penny. I'd rather we get some of those other characters that won't be divisive, because this game needs more players. And Crow is going to be a character that, for right now, divides people on picking up this game or dropping this game, at least from the Ruby side. Trust me, there is too much stupidity going on surrounding this. We don't need that in the game as badly as I want Crow in this game. Trust me, dude. Yeah, from what I've seen, there's no reason at all to think that Rooster Teeth and Arc System Works don't have a decent connection right now, that their relationship is bad or anything. There's no reason to think that. Everything seems fine from what I've seen. Also, in terms of Ruby character announcements, I think that if we don't get a Ruby announcement between now and RTX Austin, which is the first week of July, don't expect any more Ruby characters. As bad as that sounds, because if they're gonna do it, it's gonna be between now and then. But if they announce that they're at RTX, then it won't be EVO legal, you know. But at the same time, if they don't announce it at RTX, just because they don't want that weird period of, hey, there's a character that's been announced or released that you can't play in EVO, or if they announce it and then release it a month later after EVO has already happened, because EVO happens the following month, then that would be awkward too. So, I mean, I don't think that, I think that it would be announced between now and RTX Austin, but still, between the two, if it's not announced at RTX Austin, I don't see them waiting to announce it at EVO either, because it makes more sense to announce it at RTX than at EVO. Personally, that's the way I see it. Announce it in front of the Ruby fans to get more people to buy the game, instead of announcing it to the FGC, who they probably aren't that familiar with Ruby in the first place, but if the character was there and it's a cool character, then they might look into Ruby. You see what I mean? So, just saying. Wow, I'm trying to... Okay, alright, I'm gonna answer these last couple of things here, and then I'm gonna keep going, because I'm gonna have to cut this and upload this to YouTube, and, yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of Ruby discussion in the middle of it. But alright, yeah, just these last two things here. Yes, Nova. I wholeheartedly do believe that they were definitely working on Ruby Sprite before they even announced the game, and that's the reason why I'm thinking that the Ruby poll in October of 2017, that's why I think that was important, because if you think about it, Ruby wasn't even in a playable state when they announced her. If you think about it, they only showed her just like standing there. That's it. Like, she was just standing there on the screen, so people could be like, oh my god, her sprite looks so good. Like, that's literally it. She was just standing there. We didn't get her, we didn't see, like, any of her moves or anything like that on the announcement day. And then between then, and between... Aw, man. Between then, and then between, 2 weeks after the game launched. The game launched, what, June 5th, I believe, here in the US? So between then and, like, what, the end of June, we'll just say about that, between then and the end of June, they finished the 4 main Ruby characters in that amount of time, right? Now, of course, they probably were working on other things too, but, yeah, between, you know, so pretty much in the course of a year, they completed those 4 characters, which had to be done from scratch, okay? If you keep that in mind, in the course of the year, they completed those 4 characters that all had to be done from scratch. It's been almost, yeah, it's approaching having been a year from then. It's approaching that now. That's why I don't think it's unreasonable at all. And keep in mind, their company's grown since 2018 and 2019. Keep that in mind. They only had 130-something employees last year. This year, as of February, they have 200, so they are more staffed now. So that's why I personally believe that that poll back in October 2017, and the amount of time they've had, and the fact that we haven't had any more characters from scratch as DLC. We haven't, not yet. Heart is going to be a redrawn character. Also, we don't even know if Heart's sprite was drawn by Arc System Works, or if it was drawn by Examu. We don't know that. All we know is that it's a redrawn sprite, but they did not make her from scratch. Just keep that in mind, guys. Okay, so that's that. Wow, that was a long answer. Combo. Yeah, dude, in my opinion, I told you, I believe that Ryuko and Satsuki, they're gonna be the first characters that we see, in that category. They're gonna go right over here. They're gonna go right there, because they're not getting their own... I don't see them getting their own thing. It's 2 characters. They're not gonna get their own little, you know, tab. It's just gonna be both of them right there. Even Mori said that, oh yeah, we just decided to keep that in the game. But if fans, you know, really would like to see some characters pop up there, then sure. You know, it's not a stretch by any means. I believe that if Ryuko and Satsuki are announced at EVO, they're going right there. Combo. I do think that they've been doing a lot, but well, they've been doing a lot, but we just haven't seen what all they've been doing. Keep in mind, Team Blue, we don't know how many people are working on each task. And to some people, when they saw the build, they were like, why isn't the, like, when we first got gameplay, they're like, why isn't this build of the game already done and ready for us to have? Why isn't it ready, right? The people who animate and draw the sprites, the people who do all the sprite work, those are not the same people, most likely, who add those characters to the game and program the characters. It's most likely 2 different people, 2 different groups of people who handle each thing. So they could have sprites done for the next 20 characters. I'm just throwing that number out there. But they could have sprites done and everything's done, ready for this game for the next 20 characters. But the people who program and handle all the coding and everything for the game and the mechanics and this and that, they have to take the time to get each of those characters properly added into this game system. Just saying. But let me keep going, because wow, that was a long side conversation there. But still, you know, it's all good. It's just that I'll have more time to talk more about that after I cover the rest of the Arcana Heart stuff. Okay, so yeah, when the person took the picture of the characters being in the icon shop under the sub character category, I commented, you know, on there that that, you know, someone who's there should like ask one of the reps that are there at the station about this or something, because you know that you know there's gonna be ARC reps that are there. And 1 second here. Right. Yeah, that they should ask, just because it's a major concern. And the thing is, right now, like, people online talk about it like it's a major concern, but no one even asked or mentioned it to the rep. And I don't know, at least, like, to me, it just seems like that's just weird to me, because a lot of people want to make a big deal about it on the internet, but then no one wants to actually bring it to a rep's attention. And I'm not saying to go in there and harass them about, like, a bunch of different things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it doesn't hurt at all to bring up that point, or to tell them, you know, to mention it to them. There's no harm at all in doing that. Now, the other thing is that, if you think about it, well, I don't know if you guys are aware, but last year, before the game even was out, people on the live stream, the live stream here in America, were asking D-Pity, who was the, why is this dude, that's just weird. Okay, so, yeah, people were asking, D-Pity about the English dub, right? Wow, this is just awkward. Whatever. I don't even care at this point. So, people were asking D-Pity about the English dub of the game last year. And the funny thing is that he actually, you know, gave us an answer and told us, yeah, the English dub, yeah, all the characters and everything are dubbed in English. It's all there. And people at first didn't want to buy what he was saying, because they were like, oh no, he doesn't know, because he doesn't work for ARC, you know, he was just there to help them. But it turned out, like, a few weeks later, that we did get the reveal that there is a full English dub, so he knew about that. He knew about it. And the fact that someone who was outside of the company was told this information, like, they're just working with the company. They're not even, like, working under, they're not, like, a part of the company, they're just working with them temporarily. The fact that he was told that, most likely, the other reps, especially the Arctis America reps, because people say they don't know that much. Guys, I'm telling you, yes, they do communicate a lot. They do know. They know what the plans are for Japan. It's just that they announce it in Japan first, and they always wait for that, and they wait until they're told what to do. But in terms of knowing what it is, they know. They know. Now, I'm not saying that the reps that are right there, that were there at SakuraCon, I'm not saying that they knew by name, oh yeah, we know that Saki and Weiss and whatever Arcana Heart characters are coming to BBTAG. They might not know exactly that. Or they might not, or even if they were told that, they might not, you know, remember that exactly. But the fact that Saki and Weiss were there under the sub-icons, a lot of people thought that, oh, we're not going to get more Arcana Heart characters. These are the main characters. If they're not coming, then no one else is coming. That was the assumption a lot of people made, right? Now, if you asked one of the reps, hey, are we getting some more Arcana Heart characters? You know, this here, what we see here in the game, this kind of suggests that Heart's going to be the only one. Then they should be able to give you a straight answer. Whether or not they will or won't, that's up to them. But the fact that you didn't even ask, the fact that you didn't even mention it to them, it kind of just makes it seem like it's not that big of a deal. Like, if they're, I mean, if it's like you guys say it online, but then when you can mention something in person and you don't, it just kind of seems like it's not that big of a deal. You know? Whereas if someone just asked them about it in person, or even like directly to them on their stream, where they're like, oh, someone on the stream directly asked about this, right? They can at least someone directly ask them about it, right? And they could say, yeah, you know, they were concerned about proper representation of the Arcana Heart franchise in BBTAG. These are really main characters. They're really important. You know, they really want to see these characters in the game. And then ArcSys Japan can say, okay, I see that this is important, or, you know, like, I see that there's, you know, concern there. You know, but if you don't directly tell them, then it's just like, oh, well, some people are upset about it, but it's not that big of a deal. They didn't even say anything to us. You know, they haven't said anything to us on our live streams. They haven't even, they were right there in person. They were right there in person. The person who took the picture was right there. I'm sure if this was an actual concern for them, they would have asked something. You know, that's how they could look at it. Just saying. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. If I was at one of those events, I know I would have asked them about the villains by now, that's for sure. You know? And you guys see me on the live stream. You guys see me ask them questions on the live stream. I ask them whenever I can. I'm always there, and I'm there asking them questions, where most of the other people there, you know, they probably want answers, but they're just not asking questions most of the time. You know? Just saying. Now, let me see here, 1 second. Also, see, Naz, that's what I mean, man. Like, they told you directly that the game was gonna be dubbed. So, I'm sure that, you know, yeah, it's understandable that you were really happy about that, bro. I know I was when they confirmed it. Combo. I'm gonna mention potential story editions once I get to the Arcnama part. I'm just trying to finish the Arcana Heart part, but yes, I'm gonna mention that. Oh yeah, and then also, yeah, people were worried that having those two characters there would deconfirm any future Arcana Heart refs being added, but that's not the case, at least not from what they've said. Reps on the Arc live stream, on their Wednesday streams, they have said before, you know, characters with an S. There was a time where they tried to mess with people about revealing the Fifth Fate in January, and they didn't actually, you know, reveal what it was, but the person did say, oh, I can't wait to see those characters with an S, you know, fighting in this game. You know, there was that. Then there was also the last Arcnama stream, or I'm sorry, not Arcnama, the last Arc live stream on Wednesday, where one of the reps directly said that Heart is a character from the 5th franchise, not the character from the 5th franchise. If it was only one, it would have been the character. But with them saying it's just a character, that's just one of the many, or one of the different characters that are going to be coming to the game from Arcana Heart. And if this is not the case, then they're definitely using deceptive marketing. You know, without a doubt, that's extremely deceptive, and I would hope that they wouldn't be doing that. So that's why I'm personally pretty sure that we are going to be seeing more of those Arcana Heart characters. We've seen them do, you know, bad advertising, or, you know, bad PR and things like that, really bad marketing, but, you know, so far, and they've even stretched the truth. They have stretched the truth, but to just directly lie in their marketing, at least I haven't seen it yet. I'll say that. Okay, now let's see here. So yeah, if you guys, you know, have any questions or whatever about the game, then yeah, whenever you're at the event or the live stream, you need to ask. It just shows to them that it is an issue. It is something that they need to be concerned about. And also, just to put it out there, lastly, I am personally not that invested in whatever they have to say between now and the update. I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what they're not gonna say. I personally don't care whatever it is. They might announce something tomorrow. They might not. They might tease something tomorrow. They might not. Who knows? But The reason for that is because no matter how bad they screw up their announcements, or no matter whatever else it is that they might announce that you think deconfirms whatever else, when the patch comes out next month, it is going to be data mined. And if there are leaks for Season 2, then that's all I want. I just want to know what Season 2 is going to look like. That's really it. I don't care about some little tiny character pack, whatever, you know, a few characters. No, I want to know what Season 2 looks like. That's it. I want to see that, because as soon as I see Season 2, that's going to answer my questions. That's going to tell me if I'm going to be getting the villains I've been waiting for, if I'm going to get, you know, Risei, you know, Ryuko, Satsuki, you know, some more Ruby characters, you know, anything that would make me want to keep playing the game. So that's why I'm waiting for that patch. I don't care what else they have to say. I'm waiting for that patch, because when it gets data mined, that's going to be it. And ultimately, I feel like next month is going to be a really big deciding month for the game, because if Season 2 gets data mined, just saying, if Season 2 gets data mined, and Season 2 is a bunch of characters that people haven't been asking for, if we get a Mane and a Arachne, and we get characters like Yukari or Margaret, and there's no villains in sight, there's no Risei in sight, there's no Ruby characters in sight, there's nothing that's been at like the top of like the most popular, you know, popular list or whatever in sight. If it's like that, this game is not gonna make it. As bad as that sounds, I thoroughly believe that that will be the case. If Season 2 comes and goes, and we're still missing major fan favorites, and we're still missing villains, this game isn't gonna make it. It's just not. And that's why, like, next month, you know, like, regardless of whatever they do, when that patch comes out, and if it gets data mined, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, that's literally the future of the game, and that's gonna tell us if this game has a future beyond EVO 2019, because if Season 2 is leaked, and it is, you know, and it sucks, EVO 2019, that's gonna be it. Maybe it'll squeeze its way to EVO Japan, you know, 2020, maybe, but that's it. It's not gonna be at EVO 2020, that's for sure. You know, that's why I'm really hoping that they, you know, that they get things together here. They have every reason to have a successful Season 2. They literally have a list. They have a list, a straight up guide for how they can get our money, for how they can, you know, have people hyped and excited over the game again. Because the meta of the game is probably going to be handled with the patch. The patch is going to save the meta, but the roster is the other part. Those two things have to go. They both are equally, in the big picture, they're both equally important. I'll say the meta overall for the game itself is more important, but for the big picture, both are equally important. I'm sure that there will be casuals that pick up a fighting game that is unbalanced, but looks good, has their favorite characters in it. They would probably still pick that game up. Just saying. But since this game is gonna have, you know, better balance in it than just some regular whatever game, then, you know, that's just a big plus. So next month, I think, is gonna be the biggest deciding factor for this game. If we get the Season 2 characters leaked, which I really hope we do, because at this point, we need it. That leak is only gonna help this game, especially if it's hype. If it's like a hype leak, dude, it's gonna only help the game. I'm 100% sure of that. I know some people say that the leak from last year is why that they've been, you know, why they've been doing things the way they have, which, yeah, sure. Maybe because of the leak last year, they've been so quiet about things, and that's why they went radio silent, and that's why we've had minimal amounts of information so far, right? But that doesn't change anything, though. Even if it hadn't been leaked, do you think that the DLC would have sold a whole lot better or something? Do you think it would have made a difference in sales at all? Because I don't. You know, I personally don't. Right, combo, right. I don't know. I know that they don't want people to see the leak, right? I'm sure they don't want the data mine to happen. I'm sure that, you know, they don't. But at this point, with the limited amount of information that they've given us about this game, that leak would only help them. Whether or not they like it or not, at this point, the leak would only help them. That's the point that I was making. Midnaz. Right, no, Synderen hasn't happened yet. I still believe that Synderen's gonna happen. Synderen just hasn't happened yet. Keep in mind, those characters have to be made from the ground up. So, you know, keep that in mind. Let me see here. No, combo. No. If they put fake files... Okay, I'm gonna say this, bro. If they put fake character files in the game, right? And it's convincing, right? Like it's the total number of characters is what we would expect, and then some of those characters are real, some of them are fake. If I bought the character pass, and they had Terumi and Adachi there as characters, and Terumi and Adachi aren't coming, I would definitely be pissed about it, bruh. And I would be getting my refund for that character pass. At least, I would be getting a partial refund for those characters not being there. I'll say that. Because when I would pay for it, I would be paying for those characters as well, included in that price. Like, that would not sit well with me at all, bro. I would not be okay with that, man. Oh, if it is that, because I thought about that too. I was just thinking that they wouldn't go to the trouble of doing that, but if it is some crazy number that it looks like, yeah, if it's like some crazy number, then, you know, I would know that it's fake. You know, if you look at it and it's like, hey guys, for Season 2 we have 50 characters. We have 30, 40, 50 characters coming for Season 2. Yeah, I would look at it and be like, okay, this is fake. You know, and I wouldn't give it any, you know, I wouldn't give it any credibility, personally. Oh my god, Game King. Yeah, no, if Scooby-Doo and Shaggy were gonna, if they showed up in the files, I would literally, I'd probably tweet at Arxis, and I'd just be like, well, I'm not gonna say on here what I would say to them, but yeah, bro, I would just be like, okay, all right, you want to put them there? Let's see them. Let's see them. Go to Warner Brothers and get them in the game. You want to put them in your, you want to put those files in here? You better get them in the game. I want Ultra Instinct Shaggy in here. Just saying. All right. Wow. Hold on. The last thing I wanted to cover here. Okay, yeah. And the last thing here relating to leaks. I don't know if you guys know, but MK11's DLC for its first season leaked. Now, in their first season, they have, like, you know, a bunch of these characters, but they also have characters like Spawn, who's a comic book character that the fans of, like, you know, of the game, or of the company have been waiting for. Some people thought Spawn was coming to Injustice. Some were saying, no, it would come to Mortal Kombat. But they had Spawn, Joker from, you know, from DC, from Batman, and they had Terminator there as guest characters coming to Mortal Kombat 11. If you think that all of a sudden, oh no, the character's leaked, now our game's not gonna do that well. No. Dude, you know that leak is only gonna help Mortal Kombat 11's opening week. Like, without a doubt, it's not gonna hurt the game at all. If Season 2 leaks and we have, like, Pyrrha and Roman, and we have all the villains, and we have Risei, and we have Nanase, and Celica, and you know, maybe even Bullet, and then we have Ryuko and Satsuki, right? We have all of them there in the leak. Dude, do you think that the number of players playing this game is just gonna all of a sudden disappear? Like, oh man, this leaked. Now that this information leaked, that's it, I'm done with the game. Do you think people who've been waiting for a leak to happen, oh, well, now that I see the leak, that's it, I've been waiting to see the leak and now I've seen it? No, dude, they're gonna look at the leak, they're gonna say, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. Because so many people have been waiting for their favorite character to get in the game. Kill la Kill fans have been waiting for Ryuko and Satsuki to officially be announced for this game. Trust me, I know. People have been waiting for their villains to be announced for the game. people have been waiting for their favorite girl to be announced for the game. There's a lot of characters that people have been waiting for, you know? I'm just saying, man, like, people would just be, at that point, people would just get excited. They'd probably see a noticeable increase in the number of, in like the player base of the game if the leak happened. They'd probably see it happen like over the course of the next month or so. Not even like joking about that. Just because the game now has a decent amount of exposure with them taking it around to all these cons and all these different content creators, you know, showing gameplay of it and everything. It has some exposure now. Now, if they can just, you know, capitalize on it, or if a leak just so happens to come out and it has, you know, some really hyped characters in it, yeah, that exposure combined with the leak, that's only going to help them. To be honest, that's only going to help them, dude. Dude, I mean, combo, for me, the fun of guessing who's going to make it, that died last year when Evo came and went, and then they announced the characters that were in the league. For me, that died last year because I was thinking there's no way that it's just going to be these characters exactly, because we're still missing, you know, too many important characters. For me, that died. Like, they can't. I'm not, like, at this point, it's like I'm not guessing. I'm not here guessing who's going to make it. It's just, okay, either they're in or they're not. I mean, that's literally it to me. It's literally just black and white. I mean, at this point, I feel decently confident that I can predict the order that they're going to be announcing the characters. So even if it was like just a guessing game, like just trying to guess who's gonna come win, at least for me, it's just, yeah, no, like, yeah, for me, it's just, I'm not interested in that anymore, really. Right, exactly, combo. If they don't have, like, certain characters in the season pass, or, you know, in season 2, then they might not get the season 2 pass. But if season 2 is filled with a bunch of characters people have been asking for, then yeah, I think that most people will be buying the season 2 pass. Like, if the rest of the character packs are just as hyped as the first one that they announced, yeah, people are gonna be buying that character pass without a doubt. So yeah, I mean that. Okay, alright, I got you, combo. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I had to say regarding Arcana Heart and everything else that just so happened to have ended up in that discussion there. But yeah, just wait until the patch comes out next month. Hopefully, even if they don't announce a new Arcana Heart character tomorrow, or if they don't tease one tomorrow or whatever, then when the patch comes out next month and it's data mined and hopefully everything there is accurate, you'll know what Arcana Heart characters are coming. So there's that, just so you guys know. And yeah, that's pretty much it about Arcana Heart.